Next year, Burlingame High will turn 100. Its sister school to the south, San Mateo High, turned 100 over 20 years ago. San Mateo High opened on September 15, 1902 at 56 Ellsworth Avenue in downtown San Mateo, near today's Mills Hospital parking lot. For the first 20 years, all students living within Burlingame's borders took the bus to downtown San Mateo to attend school. By the early 1920s, San Mateo High School was seriously overcrowded. The high school building, then in use, was built for 350 students, but it had an enrollment of close to 500. Something had to give. A school bond was passed, and construction for Burlingame High began in April of 1922. However, it was not yet known as Burlingame High. For the first several years, it went by the name San Mateo High Northern Branch. Burlingame High School was built in 1923. The new school was the pride and joy of the community, designed by a prominent architect, William H. Weeks. Weeks also designed the 1909 former Bank of Burlingame building that now houses Flight's restaurant, as well as McKinley School, the Santa Cruz Boardwalk, and several Carnegie libraries, among many other buildings. In 1927, when San Mateo High's new building opened on North Delaware Avenue, its northern branch was renamed Burlingame High. This was a time of great competition between the two cities. Even San Mateo Drive was renamed California Drive during the 20s after it crossed into Burlingame. This competition has never really ceased and was and is most often evident in the Little Big Game held each November. The 1950s was a time of rapid population growth on the peninsula, and 4 high schools opened in rapid succession within 7 years. Hillsdale, Mills, and Aragon opened in 1955, 1958, and 1961 respectively. The now closed Crestmore High in the hills of San Bruno opened in 1962. This aerial photo from 1927 shows the high school and the area east of it towards 101 that is now known as Burling Gables, but was then totally undeveloped. The semicircular row of trees at the lower right of the photo surrounded the end of the Frank and Harriet Carolyn polo fields that once occupied the property. $60,000 of the $360,000 school bond issued to build Burlingame High went to Carolyn's for the purchase of their land. This is a 1906 map of the area showing the polo fields. The dark buildings just beneath the polo fields on the map are the greenhouses of the McClellan's flower business on Bloomfield Road. School spirit and extracurricular activities have typically been very popular. In the early 1930s, of a total student population of about 350 students, 93, or nearly a quarter, were in band. 70 students were in orchestra, 50 in the Latin Club, and 88% of the students purchased student body cards. It was reported that students were, quote, so enthusiastic about extracurricular school organizations that limitations had to be imposed on activities schedules to prevent fatigue. Here are a few of those activities. The students were also active in their community. During World War II, they raised $170,000 to help the war effort by purchasing a bomber. Their fundraising went so far over the goal that they also purchased a land jeep, an amphibious jeep, and an ambulance plane. The 50s brought a more peaceful time of sock hops and soda fountains. Pictured here is Hal's on Howard Avenue at the current site of the Safeway store. Hal's, was the place to hang. Here are some co-eds hanging out at Hal's. Note their short bangs, which many girls wore to emulate the First Lady, Mimi Eisenhower. In 1973, the school celebrated its 50th anniversary with a big hoopla. And the 100-year celebration promises to be equally as celebratory.